Hey, how's it going, everybody? Saw this mower on Facebook Marketplace the other day for 50 bucks. The guy said it doesn't start and he doesn't have time to mess with it, which is usually a pretty good sign. So I offered the guy 40 bucks and agreed to meet him. The main reason I wanted this mower is because it has a Honda engine on it, which should be a pretty good engine. So I got this thing home and I filmed a very short assessment video of it, but unfortunately that clip was lost. But long story short, I tried to start it, nothing happened, and then I took the air filter cover off, and there was no air filter in the box. So I went ahead and sprayed a little bit of starter fluid in there and pulled it over, and it did go ahead and start up for a couple seconds, which tells me there's a problem with fuel delivery, and it should be just a simple matter of cleaning the carburetor. So hopefully this will be a pretty quick and easy flip, so stick around if that interests you. Okay, we're going to pull the carb off of this Honda. 10 millimeter? Yep, 10 millimeter. We're not even going to fondle around with the float bowl or any of that. We're just going to pull the whole carb off and assume that it needs ultrasonic clean. I'm sure that's the case. Okay, there's several gaskets on these Hondas. Okay, that's the first one right there. And it just fell out on its own, so we're good there. We want to make sure we don't rip this big one right here. And then there's a choke. This is the auto choke right here, and it's just sitting on there stuck right now, so I'm going to leave it. There's a gasket behind it as well. I don't want to risk breaking it, so I'm going to leave that on there. But that does come off as well. If I wanted to pop that right there off, it would just pop off. Here's the governor spring. And then the throttle linkage. If we can, we might have to do the gas first. Yeah, we're going to do the gas line first. That's the great thing about gas shut-off valves, is that you don't have to take everything apart. I mean, that makes it real convenient. So yeah, we'll get this inside, get it on the ultrasonic, and it looks like we might get this gasket apart in one piece, maybe. I don't know, maybe not. Yeah, might have salvaged that. Alright, let's take this in and see what it looks like on the inside. I'm curious. Actually, on second thought, I want to take the float bowl off out here, so if I spill on the gas, it won't spill inside. And it's a 10 millimeter also. It's got junk and it's got water. There's bubbles. What looks like watered down gas. Can't see it, but the main jet is completely clogged, and we've got a bunch of goo right around here. So yeah, we'll take this in, we'll brush it off in the sink, clean all this out, and then we'll put it in ultrasonic. Okay, as usual, I want to wash off the outside of the carb as much as I can get off of there with just an old toothbrush or something. I'm gonna get off there before we put it inside the ultrasonic cleaner. So usually I just use some dish liquid for this purpose, and we'll just scrub. Look at all the crap that's in that though. It's just full of gunk. Like it's like jelly. It's jelly is what I would call it. Gelatinized gasoline. It doesn't have to come spick and span here. It's going to go on the ultrasonic also. All these parts are, but I just want to get it as best I can with this method before we do, and just ensure hopefully that the cleaning will take, you know. So there's the gasket. I don't want to lose that. I'll set that aside. We do have a little bit of a rust spot right there. So, you know, this has had water in it at some point, and it's eaten off the outer layer of plating on this. It's a plated part. I'm not sure what was it, maybe, I don't know, zinc plating or something. Alright, so there's that part pretty clean. We'll put it in the basket and get it in the ultrasonic. This is the drain plug screw, and it does not have a jet or anything in it to clean out, so it just needs to be kind of wiped down. It's no biggie. Okay, so I can take that pin out without tools, and then we'll have the needle valve, shut-off valve right there, and that's what I suspect probably got gummed up because there was fuel in the oil, which we will need to change also. So there's that. Float bowl. Okay, I get a screwdriver long enough to get down in there, and we will release that jet and the emulsifier. Okay, I'm not sure what screwdriver will be best here. Probably, yeah, this one might do it. Now that one's too big. This one will do it. Okay. Alright, a lot of times on these screws, you kind of have to go a little bit back and forth. There's two different depths of screw. Of screw threads. There's a set of threads way down in here for this screw that we're taking out now, and then there's a different set of threads up here closer to the top that are for the drain plug screw. And okay, so there's that plug. That is going to be for sure, I can't even see light through it, so that's completely clogged. And there's the emulsifier too, which we might have to dislodge. It will be down in here sticking up. Might be easier from over here. Yeah, there it is. It's down inside of there sticking up. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it or not, but you should be able to. Yeah. There it is. Couple brute force bangs and it comes out. So that's the emulsifier. It is completely clogged up too. There is not a single jet open. Clogged up from top to bottom. So now I do see some light. I do see a little bit of light through the middle, but it's also half clogged, and all these side holes look like they're partially clogged as well. So we'll have to run something through each one of those. Let's see. So we'll get one of my little trusty dental brushes here. These work pretty good for this. This one won't go all the way through, but it will go part way this way and then part way the other way. And then I'll run something through the rest of it here in a minute. Okay, this is the one that's completely clogged. I can't even stick this in there. Yeah, it's so clogged it's actually bending this brush rather than go through. Might have to get something a little sturdier to go through that. Let me find a solid core piece of wire or something. Okay, this main jet is well and truly clogged. I've got a piece of wire here I'm trying to even get started going through it, and it is not wanting to. Yeah, it is very clogged. I see some light now. See the light shining through. That's as much light as I can get, and I think that's as small as the hole is supposed to be. So I'm going to throw this in the ultrasonic and see how it comes out. And of course the big one is this one, main jet. Ooh, this intake is filthy, which leads me to believe he probably really let the air intake go. Probably didn't clean it, and that's why this has happened. Possibly, or it just could be that he has had some really bad gummed up fuel that just got injected up into there and accumulated. But it's up here in the main carburetor passage with the choke and throttle. It's like just a slick of it at the bottom. You know how it looks like when you cook French fries or something, you fry them on the stovetop or in a fryer, and all that gummy gelatinous oil kind of gets everywhere. Eventually it'll get up, you know, if you've ever worked at a restaurant, it'll get up in the ceiling and everywhere, you know. Well, that's kind of what this looks like. This carb is just kind of covered here and there in this gelatinous oily residue from probably the ethanol and the gas. It's probably exactly what it is. The corn ethanol and the gas is deposited everywhere on this, and yeah, that's the enemy here. You know, I went looking earlier for gas because I ran out for my lawnmower stuff, and I couldn't find anywhere with ethanol near me, without ethanol, excuse me, near me anymore. It's all up to 10%, which, yeah, it's better than E85, I guess, but that's probably about the best we're going to ever be able to get again, because of stupid regulations. I think they do it on purpose to try to destroy small engines destroy people's faith. You know, there's a generation of people born now who didn't grow up with this stuff. They don't know how easy this stuff is to work on. They've never had to work on anything in their lives. So they have no practical knowledge of anything whatsoever. And then you got this political class who also have really no practical knowledge, but they probably know a little bit more than the plebs downstream, many of them. And, you know, you got this new generation coming up who's never had to deal with any of this stuff or never known better. And, you know, they'll just cheer it on when somebody says we're going to mandate a certain amount of ethanol because it's saving the planet. You know, no, you're not. You're destroying all the existing engines that are out there. And yeah, that might destroy the oil and gas industry eventually when you've made it so expensive that finally alternate fuels or batteries can compete. But the problem, they come with their own set of problems. I'm not going to go into any of that stuff again. It's just, it all is a trade-off. You have to understand, nothing in this universe is free. There is no push without a pull. There's no action without an equal and opposite reaction. You know, everything has consequences. You're not going to get away with that. Utopia doesn't exist, kids. And destroying all the existing engines on the planet is not good. So we're going to try to clean this one and save at least one. We're going to save one engine at a time. Saving the planet one engine at a time. All right, let's put it in the ultrasonic. Okay, we're back with a completely clean carburetor. Came out real nice, actually. Very, very happy with it. So we'll tighten up that bottom little nut right there and get it back on the machine. Alright, on this back gasket, it's kind of easy to tell which way it goes because it'll have a pattern here that matches with the pattern on this, and the other side will just be plain and flat. There, you should be able to see the pattern there, hopefully. But that will match with this. So it goes that way. There's the governor spring. Okay, get this fuel line kind of out of the way because I'm going to drain whatever's left in here anyway. Don't forget to attach this vacuum hose that goes up to the engine block. If you're doing this, don't tighten these down so much you crack the plastic. And this has got to be drained. Drain whatever's left in there. Gas actually doesn't look bad at all from what I can tell. Of course, it's in a dirty oil pan now, but it doesn't look bad. I think I've got a fresh air filter too for this. I think this will fit. This is the same one that goes on some Briggs engines. We'll get that on there. Actually, I'll tell you what. Let's give her a little bit of starter fluid, and I bet she cranks on the first go. I think I put that on wrong. I think the throttle's stuck full open because I stuck it on wrong. Yeah, I did. I stuck it on wrong. I have to fix that. Take it back off and fix it. before you put this all the way on, just tap this and see if it goes forward. If it doesn't, if it's stuck, then you need to think again. Because the throttle is stuck up against the choke or something. That's what was happening. Okay. Now that should be free. Little smoke and a weird smell. Of course, we still got that problem of the oil. We got to change the oil because it had that stuck carb needle, so it's flooded the oil chamber with gasoline. So let's go ahead and change that, and we'll do all the little things we need to do. Oh yeah. Yep. Milky and cloudy. And just spilling it everywhere. Oh, come on. Get out. Oh, that's gasoline. This is really terrible. It's like two-toned. You can see the milkiness in it, and it's double layered. There's a layer of thicker stuff and then a completely separate layer of thinner stuff. And at the end of that pour, it was all thin stuff. So we're gonna go with some synthetic. That looks pretty good right there from what I can tell. Yeah, that ought to be good. Okay. Okay. This thing's kind of warped. It's been trained the wrong direction. Oh, shit. Okay. All right, so that was very eventful. I got under there with this, tightening that back down in position when I noticed that fuel was spilling out from the other side, of course, because I had it tilted up. So I sat it back down and stopped the tilt, and then just mindlessly started it with this still stuck on there, so the blade hit it and it flew in like 3 different directions. Okay, I think it's still burning off some stuff from the exhaust that was coming out before. You know, like I said, we had gasoline in the oil before, so it's still kind of burning that out of there. So that's what that little bit of smoke is from, I imagine. We had a bent wheel up here up front. Let's see about fixing that. 14? Yep, 14 millimeter. It's actually not too far off, but it is off enough that it's a problem. It's just this bracket's bent. Okay. See if we can do this without breaking it. God, I did feel it bend. Yeah, it's backing like a champ, but it is kind of oscillating a little bit. I think I might just need a tweak on the governor setup somewhat, but I'm going to empty that bag of grass and do another round. grass this high, it's not taking very long at all to fill up the bagger, and it's at that point it's asking it to start mulching, and you can tell when it happens. This time, for instance, it happened about halfway down this last pass back up this way, and it didn't struggle really, but you could tell that, you know, it hit that the grass bagger was clogged up and full. So I'll empty that again, just keep emptying it. It's doing a great job, look at it. And that's without even sharpening the blade. I still got to sharpen the blade. To solve my little throttle issue, I moved that spring from this point back to this point, and it sped it up just enough. It just gave it a little kick in the butt, and definitely ran better that last time through. It wasn't acting like it, the RPM was too low. So I think that's perfect right there. We'll go ahead and empty this bag and we'll finish up. I give them all my bagged grass because it actually keeps their run dry, and they'll just kick through it and try to find, you know, things to eat. actually not surprised it quit there. You know, sometimes when you wash one, it'll suck up a little bit of water. I kind of probably started it too soon, but it'll dry out and start right up, I'm sure. So anyway, that's going to do it for this one. If you've enjoyed it, hit subscribe, and for now, we'll see y'all later.